Hey y'all, it's Sarah, and let us talk about lettuce today. So you can see I have some fake lettuce going on here with lots of different color variation and texture, and I've got a little tiny version, and I decided I wanted to do this because I got my hands on one of the little holiday turkeys, and I wanted something to garnish around the tray. So I decided that I would make some lettuce to use as my garnish, and that way I could have some little side salads. So let's jump into this. The process is going to be the same whether you're doing like a full size. I just went ahead and did them as full size leaves just because it made it faster and easier, and then just broke them down into smaller leaves. And let's talk about what I used. I've got a couple different alcohol markers, and I'm using alcohol markers because they will stick a little better, but that's part of the reason why I wanted to go ahead and share this. You can see I'm already green, so it's time for a new manicure. After this, you might want to use gloves if you tend to get messy like I do, and I'm going to be really messy with this. So I've got 4 different colors. I picked a couple different green ranges from just a cheap alcohol marker collection. And I've got, let's see, I've got pale green, grass green, deep olive green, and this one is a lime green. And I'm going to mix those a little bit here and there. I have got just some white grocery bags, and I'm not sure if you could do this with other colors. Maybe the beige colors you might could get away with, but I chose white because I thought it would be the best base. And a pair of scissors, and that's really all you need, and a little bit of thyme. So the first thing I'm going to do is just going to start cutting some pieces off my little grocery bag. And you can tear pieces off, you can cut pieces off. I tried to go with the shape of my bag. I just went ahead and did an entire bag. I didn't want to be wasteful. So I tried to just cut off and give myself some strips. And then I ended up with some strange shapes, which is fine. You don't have to be too precise about this. So we're going to start by opening up the bottom. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut across the top here. I've got some all weird little spots, you know, where it sticks out. I'm using all of that. You can do it all cattywampus, rip it all crazy. It's fine. Don't stress about that part too much. And don't worry about trying to get like really nice strips. You can, but I wouldn't take the time. So I'm just going to pull this down and start cutting me some pieces off here to work with. And you can see I'm just going all haphazard. So now that I've got some kind of shape, I'm just going to start taking my fingers and doing a couple different motions. One, I'm holding my thumb here, and then I'm pulling forward, like really close together. I don't know if you've ever seen this done with tablecloths and things, like plastic tablecloths for parties. And you can give it a ruffled edge at the bottom by doing this. In some spots, I'm digging my nails in. In some spots, I may pull it. And that gives it like a little bit of a little jaggedy edge. So all the way around the edges. And this piece is probably going to be a little large unless you're making big lettuce leaves. This piece might be a little large, so that I can get more edges, I'm going to make these pieces a little smaller. So I've gone through, I did this while watching TV. I wasn't even looking at it, just feeling down and pulling on those edges and stretching them apart. And on several of them, I took my fingernails and drug down different places, and it almost gives you like you're veining. Now, when you're doing this for the miniature scales, none of this part really matters. But if you want to have it in both sides, in both sizes. So we're just going to keep stretching. And maybe crinkle it up a little bit even. So basically, we've just got worn out plastic at the moment, is how that looks. And I'm trying to pull some of it apart so that it's not completely squared off. It's a little more natural. Then, like I said, for the miniature part, it won't matter. You could get a whole little bowl or two, probably several bowls of miniature salad out of just this little piece right here. But like I said, I'd already cut into the bag. I didn't want to waste. I'm not sure what I'll do with the rest of it. Easter's coming up. Could be a fun alternative to Easter grass in your Easter baskets. It did get one of my kids this morning, though. I had it sitting there in a bigger bowl so they wouldn't blow away, and he absolutely was tricked. Okay, so I've got a couple little pieces I can play with. I brought in some cardboard just because I know I'm going to make a mess. And I'm starting with a darker color around some of my edges. And I rotated out the colors for all the different pieces. And you can see, you can go around the darker edges. But I'm going to tell you, one of the cheats that I did use as I started making the bowl full, I crinkled this all up. Got the edges kind of in alignment, if you notice what I did. I just kind of pulled them up together where they were all crinkly. And I'm just going to take this marker and push it down into all of those little spots on the edges. I'm going to flip the other side. Do the same thing. And this is where I said you might want to have gloves on, because it will soak into it, or it will dry onto it, but it takes a little bit of time before it does. So I'm coming in with one of the lighter colors. I'll go with lime. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm doing it a little wider on the scrunchie so I can get down in and cover some of the white on the inside. And I'm flipping it back and forth, so there's alcohol ink on top and bottom. And some of them you don't even have to color in all the way, and you can kind of see that already looks. It's a little more transparent right now while it's wet. It dries a little less transparent. So I'm rubbing all that in. And now I've got a piece of lettuce. This one's still a little squared off, but it's okay because I'm going to rip into this one and use it. I'm going to throw another green color on there. Why not? So this one's a really pale green. It's blending some of those greens back and forth. You can see how cool that looks. So now that I've done that, I can start picking this apart. And I'm just going to pull. It's still a little damp, so they're going to stick to me. It probably is a little easier once it's all dry to do the pull it apart, but for the sake of video time, I'm not going to wait. But they do keep sticking to my fingers. So I'm just going to keep pulling on this. until I have a nice little pile of leaves. I'm kind of rolling some of those around just to get them unstuck. And I'm trying to get as small a bits as I can, but it's sticking. I'm struggling. Look at those little tiny. And in person, that is so wild to see how much it really does kind of look like lettuce. And I'm just going to keep doing this until I finish pulling. You can see how much lettuce is there just from this one little thing that I did. Okay, so this is how much I ended up with off of that, just that one little piece that I was playing with. So that's what I've got out of it. But while I was doing that, I grabbed these are some Dollar Tree wood beads. And I think I'm going to aim for this yellow one right here, even though there's green. I think I'm going to go with this yellow one. And I have not tried this yet, so we're going to try it together and see what happens. Some of you guys may have already figured out where I might be going with this. I am going to try to see if I can turn this into maybe a head of lettuce. And I have not tried this, but I'll look for something with maybe a lot of the different color textures to it. If you notice, I did all 4 of those color markers to give so much color variety. I think I might go with a piece like this. So I'm going to pull that loose. And I think I may try to cover the yellow ball, the yellow bead. And I'm trying to spin that around in almost a circular motion. And let's see here. What are we looking like so far? Fortunately, it squishes down on there pretty easy. At this stage, because I don't want to get any messier than I already am with my green fingers that need a new manicure, I would start adding some glue and squishing that down into place and continuing to try to wrap that around and adhering it down. And I think by the time it was all said and done, just to give you an idea, that you might actually have something that at a glance would appear like a head of lettuce. Although, like I said, I'm not touching any glue with my fingers at the moment. They already look like this. It's pretty rough. So that's why I did give you the heads up. You might want to try some gloves or be a little neater than me, but I like diving into my stuff, and it doesn't bother me that I mess up my nails all the time. It gives me an excuse to do a new set. So I'm going to take this in my hand. I'll just roll it around in a ball like that. Let's see if that makes it do what I think it might do. Oh, my friends, if you did that with a little bit of glue, I think that would be super easy peasy head of lettuce. I don't know if you saw. You probably could also throw a little something in the middle or a little white paint in the middle, and it'd also give you like a head of cauliflower kind of look. But I'm gonna leave that idea with you. I just really wanted to show you the little individual lettuce while I was already green and making the mess of things. Figured I'd share it. So one more little peek. It definitely looks like the real deal. I don't know if the lighting here in my craft room portrays that, because sometimes it can change the lighting on the camera a little bit. But just so you can see, isn't that wild? Just a little bit of, and if you notice, there are places where they're still white. Don't feel like you've got to cover the whole piece of plastic, because I realized the more I left a little bit of white on there, it really started adding to the depth of the look of there being lots of different color leaves mixed down into it. You can see the same with what's in my little bowl. And now I have a whole nother salad ready to get put in a bowl. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you had fun with it. This is a really easy one to just sit and do idly while you're watching TV. You don't even have to look as you're pulling the plastic. As a matter of fact, the less you concentrate on it, the better your leaves probably turn out. That's all I got. Talk to you guys soon. Bye, y'all.